Today, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious hot and sour soup. My version is a combination of tangy and spicy broth with chicken and tofu. The best part is, from prep to cook, it's ready in under 30 minutes. To make a flavorful chicken stock base, I like to use traditional Chinese aromatics like ginger and garlic. So for the ginger, you're just going to tear off a piece of the root and peel the outside of the skin. And I just use a small paring knife. But I also have used a spoon to help remove the skin too. I love the smell of fresh ginger. It's really pungent and a little bit spicy, which is really nice. I'm going to mince about 1 teaspoon of ginger. Make sure that the ginger is finely minced because you don't want to get big chunks stuck in the soup. If you take a bite of the ginger, it's pretty spicy. Now I'm going to mince 1 teaspoon of garlic. I trim off the ends and then I give it a little bit of a whack. See how easy the garlic loosens from the peel? I'm gonna finely mince the garlic. It's gonna add a lot of nice sulfur notes that's going to turn sweet when it hits the pan. The heat helps mellow out those sulfur compounds. In addition, I like to add shiitake mushrooms. The mushrooms are gonna add this really great umami flavor that quickly infuses into the chicken stock. So just cut off the stems. They're a little bit tough. And I have 2 ounces of mushrooms, which is about 1 cup. Now I'm going to slice it into 1/8 inch thick pieces. I'm going to mince 1/4 cup of bamboo shoots. Bamboo shoots have a really interesting texture, and it's going to give a nice earthy flavor to the soup. I like to add tofu to the soup because it's going to provide extra protein. I use firm tofu because it's not going to fall apart when the soup is simmering. I have 8 ounces here and I'm going to cut them into 1/4 inch thick dice. I like to make them into neat little stacks so it's easy to cut them. Now if you want to make the soup vegetarian, you can add extra tofu and use a vegetable stock instead of chicken stock. Traditionally, hot and sour soup uses pork, but I'm going to use boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I have about 4 ounces here, and I like to use it instead because the dark meat and the fat in the chicken is gonna add a lot more flavor, and I found that when you simmer the soup, it doesn't dry out. So we're going to cut this into 1/8 inch thick slices. Cut the strips into about 2 inch long pieces. Now that we have everything prepped for the soup, let's head over to the stove. Heat a large pot over medium heat. Add 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and once hot, add 1 teaspoon minced garlic and 1 teaspoon minced ginger. Saute for 30 seconds. Sauteing the ginger and the garlic in hot oil is going to release their fat-soluble flavors and their strong aromas. It's already smelling really good. I only cooked this for about 30 seconds because I don't want the garlic to burn. Add 4 ounces of sliced chicken. Saute until cooked through, about 2 minutes. Sauteing the chicken is going to very lightly brown the surface of the meat, creating more flavor for the soup. It also helps to render some of the chicken fat so that the soup is much more rich in flavor. Add 4 cups of chicken stock and turn the heat to medium-high to bring to a boil. Then reduce to medium-low heat to simmer. Add 2 ounces of mushrooms, 1/4 cup of minced bamboo shoots, 2 tablespoons black vinegar, 1 teaspoon soy sauce, 1 teaspoon sesame oil, a 1/2 teaspoon honey, and 1 teaspoon kosher salt. Stir to combine. Simmer for 5 minutes. Add 8 ounces of firm tofu and cook for 1 minute. Black vinegar has a really unique fermented flavor and gives that characteristic tanginess to the soup. Depending on the brand that you buy, there may be tomato paste, some sugar, onions, and carrot juice and spices. It's similar to Worcester sauce, except for it's a little bit more vinegary. If you can't find black vinegar at your local markets, I usually find it at Asian produce stores, then you can use a little bit of distilled vinegar or red vinegar. And I usually add about 1 teaspoon to start, and then I taste as I go to kind of gauge the level of tanginess. Also, you can add a little bit more soy sauce to balance that flavor from the vinegar. A cornstarch slurry is often used in Chinese cuisine to instantly thicken stir fries and soups. The cornstarch is really potent, so we want to dissolve it in some water and mix it together so that it doesn't clump together when we add it to the hot soup base. I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons in 1/4 cup of water. It's always a 2-to-1 ratio of water to cornstarch. And now we're going to add it to the soup. Gradually add the cornstarch slurry to the soup, stirring constantly until the consistency is slightly thickened, about 1 to 2 minutes. Eggs add a luxurious texture to the soup, but we don't want big curds to form. Instead, we want delicate strands just floating within. Turn off the heat and gradually drizzle in 1 large whisked egg. Use a spoon to stir the soup using figure-8 motions until you see strands of egg appear. White pepper is the one ingredient in this recipe that should not be substituted. It has a really sharp, peppery taste and smoky flavor. I add it at the very end of cooking because if it gets overheated, it'll start to taste bitter. Add in a 1/2 teaspoon white pepper and stir to combine. Adjust with salt, pepper, and vinegar to taste. Wow, this looks amazing. No more need for takeout. I like to garnish the soup with a little bit of sliced green onions for freshness, some cilantro leaves, and for a little bit of extra kick of heat, some chili oil. Just drizzle a little bit on top. A little goes a long way. For a complete meal, I would serve this soup with my healthy orange chicken stir fry right here. I hope you enjoyed learning the science behind hot and sour soup, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. It means a lot when you do. See you in the next video. You're gonna love it.